Hey guys, welcome back to Ingram Orchids and More. Happy Sunday. It is a chilly, windy day here in Florida, and we are going to be talking about our post-orchid shuffle. Because yesterday I was moving plants inside while Tristan was at work at the nursery, and if I had filmed it, you probably would have seen my face going the whole time because the weather said it was going to be a low of 38 and it kept bouncing between 36 and 38 degrees. So had a little bit of a freak out session because we have so many plants, and at this point when your collection is so big, you kind of have to pick favorites, and a lot of the stuff that I moved inside was either in sheath, in bud, had flowers open, or they were just our favorite plants. So those were the ones that got picked as favorites and got moved inside to our office and bathroom. The other stuff kind of got moved upstairs because we only have so much space inside to put all these plants, so it looks like a jungle. But first and foremost, before we show you where we moved some of our plants and kind of what our lanai looks like without as many plants, we just want to say from the bottom of our hearts, thank you so much. We are over 200 subscribers. Last I checked, we were at 231, which is incredible, and we are so excited to have you guys a part of our community. This is a big deal. We're making these videos for you guys, so seeing the excitement and the momentum just gives us fuel to do these videos and show you guys, and we can share this passion together. So thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Me and Tristan sincerely thank you for watching our channel and subscribing. We really, really appreciate it. So let's dive in, and I'll kind of give you a walkthrough of what our lanai looks like. So let's start, shall we? So as you know, I'm 5'4", so I am almost like, I am really tiny. I cannot reach the stuff that we have up high. So we have a 2-story lanai cage, which if you're not local to Florida, you're like, what is a lanai? It is basically a screened in back porch area because we do have a pool, and in Florida you can put a saddle on the mosquitoes here because you can ride those bad boys around, and we are trying to keep those at bay. So we have a screened in lanai, which makes it really nice, and we can kind of keep the pests and bugs at bay for our orchids, and at least keeps it to a minimum. So essentially what we did to utilize the space, because I love vandas and Tristan loves encyclias, and we do try to mount a significant part of our collection. So we ended up hanging a bar that is parallel with the beams of our lanai cage. So Tristan will kind of show you that there. And it's very empty, as you can see. You can see the little plants that we didn't care about too much that are still hanging there all by themselves. But anyway, I'm 5'4", so I can't reach that stuff without a ladder. So that was how I got my steps in yesterday, trying to bring all this stuff down. So that was fun. Probably didn't want to have that filmed anyway because OSHA would probably come in and think I'm a hazard, but it's okay. We got the job done. But basically our lanai is super, super bare. There's a lot more sun shining into the lanai screen now, just because all the plants are inside, which you're about to see. But like I said before, I'm going to show you all the plants that we brought inside, so let's go look. All right, don't judge us, okay? But basically, you can't even walk into our office here. So anything, like I said, that's in bloom, in bud, in sheath, all got moved in here. So welcome to the jungle, baby. This is it. And in our little spare bathroom, we have a rolling rack with all of the vandas. I wouldn't say all of them because they wouldn't all fit on there, but a majority of them got moved inside. And Tristan yelled at me for bringing in the cigar orchids, which was not necessary, but I know how much they mean to him, and I did not want to take a chance. So whatever. He didn't help move them, I did, so I'm feeling buff today because his plants are heavy. And yeah, so that is our orchid shuffle.
Hi guys, welcome back to Ingram Orchids and More. And today we're coming to you live from Anchorage, Alaska, where it's negative 37. No, I'm just joking. It does feel like that to us Floridians. You can see I got my big overly excessive jacket on just to make northerners upset because it is a brisk.
I think it's 42 degrees right now.
It was a low of 38 last night, and it felt, you know, usually the wind doesn't hurt your face here, but
my nose is running. That's TMI report, but we both got our fuzzy Uggs on. I'm just kidding. It's just me. He wishes he had.
To people in Illinois, they probably think this is beach weather, but to us, we're bundled up. And so the tropical plants don't love it, and maybe we could show you a few plants that didn't need to be brought in, and just so y'all are aware, you know, we left a few plants because we had so many plants. I could see there's a few plants that probably should have been brought inside, like an antelope dim behind us here. That probably absolutely should have come inside, but it did not. So it'll be a good experiment to see how much damage happens to the buds on
We moved the favorite antelope dens inside,
yeah. But you know, we have a lot of plants, so we didn't move everything inside, and we can maybe show you a few plants that, you know, are very likely to not suffer damage at 37 degrees.
Alright guys, so real quick, wanted to talk about vanilla, since vanilla is something that a lot of orchid growers think of here in South Florida because we're able to grow vanilla. Behind us here we have a native vanilla. That one is most likely going to be fine, but this one on the cedar post here is a Tahitiensis, which is a natural hybrid between planifolia and another species, I believe. But Tahitiensis is one of the species that produces commercial vanilla, and I know from years past I have killed multiple of these by letting them get too cold, and I forgot to get the hand truck or the dolly and wheel it inside. So we're going to see how much damage this one takes. You can see here the plant is still green, but I know just from last year's freeze I killed a big one that we had here when it got down close to freezing. Luckily vanilla grows like a weed, and all you got to do is just get another piece, and usually within a year's time you can have a nice totem that's about that size. So you may never end up seeing any flowers on this plant because I keep letting it take too much cold damage, but the native one should be fine. What else do we got to show? You see, we left some tillandsias up there. We haven't made a video about tillandsias yet, but tillandsias are usually okay. This bromeliad looks a little rough, but it should be fine. You see, we cleared out everything. Another tillandsia. In here, obviously, stuff that's mounted on trees is just going to have to be okay. If you have a frost warning, you could do frost cloth or blankets or bed sheets to kind of protect them from frost. But if you're going to be putting plants on your trees, you need to just be okay with them either taking damage or just put plants on there that are a little bit more hardy. Most of this tree has got Encyclia tampensis on there, which is native, and it's going to have no problem. You see Tillandsia fasciculata, that's native. It's not going to have an issue more than likely. There's some plants on here that are probably not super happy with the cold. Let's stop. There's a Vanda, a Walda fragrance that's been up here for years, but it's been up there for years and it's done absolutely fine. In fact, there's very little foliar damage at all, and it's even got a spike on it. You can see it. So we'll see if that blasts. There are some veil type dendrobiums on here. Those are probably, you can already tell they're showing the signs of not liking it. There's the flower. I believe this is Lady Concert, for anybody who's wondering. But this plant grows like a weed. It should bounce right back when temperatures come back. There's a piece of leafless vanilla on there. That's probably not going to be too bothered by it. Yeah, but the temperatures should be fine. I've talked about this in another episode, but here is one of my larger Dendrobium speciosums. Excuse the weeds, we need to do some weeding, but the speciosum left out, and that is absolutely intentional. This plant flourishes in these cold dips that we get. In fact, I don't know that it helps it, but it very well may. There are some dendrobiums that really seem to be set off by a dip in temperature, especially the ones that come from colder areas. And speciosum is one of those plants that will take, you know, it'll take a frost, no problem, and it'll also go 100 degrees, no problem. And let's see, do we have any spikes? There's a spike starting there, a couple starting in there. Yeah, I can see some. There's some down in there. But man, those Australian dendrobiums, man, there's some hardy plants.
All right, guys, the sunflower is safe. It's our daughter's sunflowers. They did just fine in the cold. But if you're up north and you wished the winter weather down here upon us, I'd like to have a chat with you, because I think you should come live in Florida, where it's supposed to be warm, but it's not. I don't know what's going on, y'all. But here is our corner area you guys have seen before. This is on the outside of the lanai screen. Tristan is standing under the shade cloth there. This is the stuff that, you know, we said go with God, and we'll see you when it defrosts. But right now, this is the stuff that Tristan decided that we were going to leave outside on the benches and on the tables there. We've left these out in the cold before, but otherwise everything still is doing fine. But obviously we're not going to see any signs of cold damage for what, a few days.
So if you get a really hard frost, you'll see the signs immediately. You'll see the yellow dead cellular material. But if it's damaged, it's not frost induced, it usually takes a while to show up on the plant.
Yeah. And fun fact, we did get a new camera, you guys. We got a new GoPro, and we're still playing with it and learning how it works. So it is kind of windy, so if you hear any wind noise or anything, we can't obviously hear it until we play this video back. But if you like what you see, and the audio and video quality is significantly improved, comment down below and let us know if you like it. This is for your pleasure. But anything else you want to add?
Here, I'll take it.
Alright guys, so let me just talk real quick. There are some plants that are on this bench that probably should have been brought in at 37, but we brought in a lot of stuff, and I was working yesterday and I didn't want to come home and move a bunch more plants, so thanks to Catherine for doing most of that. But there are things in here like Certipodiums, those are probably going to be fine. A lot of my species Cattleyas will probably be fine. There's some you know, more tropical Encyclia hybrids in here. I'm pretty sure that is a hybrid. If you're wondering what that white powder is, that's a new experimental mycorrhizal powder that John Finer over at the Plant Propagator, he told me about, and I'm just trying it out on a few things just to see how that works. So stay tuned. I might have something to say about that here in a few months. Well, who knows how long that'll take to see the results of. But there's a lot of Cattleyas out here. Those are going to be mostly fine. This is a war paint, which is, you know, it's got a lot of Guarianthia raniaca in the background. And for those who don't know, Guarianthia raniaca is probably the most, if not one of the most, cold hardy members of the Cattleya family. So anytime you get a Cattleya that has a raniaca in the background of its breeding, it's usually going to be pretty cold hardy. Not always. There's some epidendrums out here. I'm not sure how the epidendrums are going to fare, but we'll see. Cattleya guttata, probably going to be okay. Pendulous dendrobiums, they're already leafless. That's pretty natural for them to experience cooler temperatures anyway, so they'll be fine. Tillandsias, of course, those are going to be probably fine. Well, and just, you know, some of the stuff that I really just didn't want to bring it inside. So we'll see how it does. What else we got? Cattleya maxima, probably going to be fine. Doesn't usually show much cold damage. A couple things blooming there. Boothly, that's probably actually not going to like the cold very much, but we'll just see what happens.
It's been blooming for a while, so.
Yeah. You can see some of those epicyclias. This is Serena O'Neill. We'll see. It's already turned purple because it's been cooler, but they're usually pretty purple anyways. They make a lot of anthocyanins. Okay. You got Cattleya intermedia. That is a really cold hardy Cattleya species. They usually don't show much damage until we get into like frost territory. But you know, we'll check back in a few days to see what got damaged, if anything. All right, so here's some things that got left outside. Golden peacock, one of my favorites. You know, blooms almost year round. This is half Prosthecia vitellina, which is a cold to cool grower anyways. And that, so you know that one's going to be a little bit more cold hardy. You got Maxillaria tenifolia, the coconut orchid. Those don't usually take any damage unless there's a hard frost. What else we got? With some Tillandsias, some Encyclias. Ooh, there is a Catletonia why not up there. That one may or may not end up having issues. You know, Cattleya or Guarianthe, excuse me, Guarianthe araniaca by Browtonia sanguineus. You have a hot grower by a cold grower, so I don't think it's going to sustain damage, but we'll see. We got some Encyclia tampensis up there. Those will be fine. This is one that I'm kind of worried. Maybe I should have brought it inside. This is Dendrobium Joyce Kelly. It's Johnstonii by Spectabile. Both of those are hot growers, so we might see some bud blast on it anyways. They've already got a bunch of thrips damage on them, so if it loses the buds, it's not a big deal. I kind of half expected it. And just some more butterfly orchids and tampensis. Sorry, the sun's up there. That's probably not going to look great on film. But yeah, there's some of the stuff that we left out.
All right, you guys, that was a little bit of our orchid shuffle. I did all the work. I'm just kidding.
She did. She absolutely did.
And if anything has cold damage, he'll yell at me later for it, but whatever.
Nothing's going to have cold damage. She absolutely took more inside than was necessary, or what I think is necessary, but you know, it's better to be safe than sorry.
Yes.
I would have had a much more selective preference of what got the luxury of being hauled inside, but you know, if you are worried about it, like I said, it's better to be safe than sorry. If you're cold, they're cold. Bring them inside. But for real, there are some plants that actually don't mind these temperatures that we're having in Central Florida right now. Mm-hmm. You just really got to know what they are.
And you work so hard to see your plant and nurture them. You want to see them bloom, and I don't want to see the buds blast on anything. So that was... I judge your orchid collection on how big it is, on how many hours it takes for you to move plants inside. If you can move all of your collection indoors and in your garage, I don't think it's big enough yet. So, but it took me a good 6 hours yesterday, and as you can see, I did not get everything inside, but it was time to pick favorites. So that's just an excuse to get some more orchids. But we know that you guys have been requesting a plant collection tour, and it is still really cold outside, and it's not necessarily springtime yet. And we don't have a lot in bloom right now, so we kind of want to have some stuff in bloom to be exciting for that plant tour. But we know you guys want to see that. That's been highly requested, so that is on the agenda to be filmed soon. But if you want us to just film it right away, let us know that in the comments. I mean, some people like looking at green plants, but we can always insert pictures of the blooms too. But I always like seeing it, you know, bloom naturally and live in person. So, but if there's anything else that you want to see, or you have comments or questions about the Orchid Shuffle, let us know down below. But again, thank you guys for getting us up and over 200 subscribers. I'm really excited. Tristan did the happy dance earlier, and we're excited for our community to grow and get up there. I think Tristan should do a backflip into the pool or something when we reach 500. What do you think?
No.
He'll break something.
I'd have to actually be able to do a backflip.
Yeah. So maybe he'll learn. We'll have him take gymnastics classes. But anyway, we appreciate you guys so much. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah, thanks, guys.